Hey, this is the Corey Maselli Show. Got my trusty sidekick here, Matthias Mendelson. We got a very powerful, epic guest today, Scot Menelson. This is Rap Fiend Radio, and want to remind everybody you can check out all of our past episodes and this episode on YouTube at thecoreymasellyshow.com, CoreyMiceli. All right, thanks, Scott. You know what? I'm not even going to bother trying to introduce you. You've done so much cool shit. A walking, living, breathing strength legend. You can just I know a lot of our listeners probably know of you, but don't know about you. So if you take a couple minutes, give us the background, the nitty gritty, and then we'll just take it from there.
Well, my name is Scot Menelson. I'm an American powerlifter. I'm a 5-time world champion. I bench over 1,200 pounds. I've been in the strength world for a long time. I've bodybuilt, I've fought, I've done all kinds of stuff, but ended up having a long life in the powerlifting realm. So that's where I was the best I could be at. So I decided to take that on. And I specialize in the bench press.
Gotcha.
I'm also a professional arm wrestler as well.
Well, I got a question for you. I've been meaning to ask you this a long time. Who was that freaking baboon that lifted off for you when you did that 715 raw bench?
That was my lift-off guy, Muhammad Anudi.
My goodness, was he jacked?
Yeah, he was like 345 at that. He got big just to lift me off. It was funny that he's like, bro, we got to look right. He's an IFBB pro bodybuilder.
Yeah, but
Super
no, Scott,
nice
I remember I probably watched that 715 raw bench years, fucking 500 times. I've watched it once,
Yeah.
Then, what do you think you're gonna hit that day?
What at the meet?
Yeah, when you hit that 715, it looked like a warm up, man.
Well, what happened was the guy that owned the federation, he paid me for the 715, and a week and a half earlier, I hit a 785.
Gotcha.
So he goes, well, what can you hit? I said, well, what do you want? He goes, I want over a 750-pound bench. And I said, okay, well, you got 50 grand in the bank? He's all, yeah. I'll go get it, put it in a paper bag, and I'll give you over 750 pounds. Because I was getting paid. I hit 713, I hit 711, I hit 701. And, it's like, you remember Alexia, the weightlifter?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Alexia would only break his shit by a kilo at a time. Right. Because that's how he made his living. So instead of going all the way up and getting paid one time, you make a career out of it. And that's what we weightlifters do.
Yeah.
When it comes to economics, because if you blow your load and you got nothing else to give, you're not getting paid anymore. So I hit the 715 just to break the world record, but that was like 100 pounds. I had close to an 800 raw.
I don't doubt it, man. That 715 was smoked.
Well, back in the day, there was no raw. It was equipped. There was no raw records. It was like James Henderson was the king, and he hit 711, and nobody else ever touched it. Well, I was hitting 735, 745 doubles in the gym. And then what happened was, in the old days, we all lifted equipped all the time, But what we would do is we would lift raw until 30 days out from the meet. And then we would get in our shirt. So I was building up really raw, and that's how I got so strong. And then I would go into the shirt, and I never really felt like at one with the shirt, because it was just such a short time to get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was with the LA Lifting Club, and when I left them, I was like, you know what? I'm not comfortable in the shirt. So I lifted 4.5 months in the shirt, and that's when I hit the 875, and I was ahead of the whole world.
Yeah, I get you.
So, you got to understand that those two different lifts, the raw and the equipped, are like two different planets.
Yeah.
But lifting equipped does strengthen your raw, because you train your nervous system to deal with 1,000 pounds. And then if you have a 600-pound raw bench, when you get back in shape raw and then you get 600 pounds in your hand, you're like, oh, I hit 1,000, 600's nothing. So you're able to cope with it a lot better. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what all you raw lifters out there, you don't understand that the equipped will help your raw tremendously.
Yeah. I'll share something with you on that, Scott. When I played college football, I got a pair of briefs. And I think I was a younger guy, I don't know, forget, maybe my sophomore year or something, trained with the briefs for a while. At the time, my best squat raw was like 500 for 5. Trained with the briefs for a couple months. One day, just wanted to see what I could do, hit 500 for 20.
You're right.
Like you
See
said,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, because you trained your nervous system to deal with that amount of weight. You
Yeah.
know, you got to understand about the central nervous system. Everybody doesn't understand that. You lift muscularly and you think that, oh, just because I'm getting my muscles bigger, that's what's running the whole show. But that's not the case. The central nervous system runs the muscular system. So, you know, when you ever been in the gym and you have the greatest workout of your life, and then for like a month after that, you're burned out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's because you killed out your CNS.
Right.
So you have to kill that nervous system out over and over and over to get stronger and stronger. So if you're a 500 squatter and you train and train and train and kill your nervous system out, you lift like shit for a month. But when you come back and then you get back in shape, you're hitting 530.
Right.
You know, so in order to lift what like me and Kolb and all these guys have done over the years, we've killed our nervous system out numerous amounts of times. And that's how you get strong.
Gotcha. I'll share this with you, Scott, give me your commentary. When I was a college football player, I made a decision when I turned 40, I would jump into powerlifting like full steam. Rudy Rosales, I know you know well.
I know well. I love Rudy and Overkill.
Yeah, got me rolling, and he had me. Yeah. He's like, well, you got a great strength base from decades of training, but we got to dial you in for some powerlifting. We're going to smash your nervous system. So he had me do these crazy freaking sumo deadlift negatives, and just wiped me wiped me out, man. And I remember the next day I'd drive to run an errand, and I felt like I was literally going to completely not just pass out, like fade out. Yeah. I had to run into this Euro stand, down 2 40-ounce fruit punches, and inhale the Euro in 5 minutes just to prevent myself from fading.
Oh yeah, because you need that energy.
Yeah, I did. I felt like garbage for damn near a month. But sure as shit, man, boom, put 60 pounds in my deadlift as soon as I came back from it.
Yeah, I put Overkill on the map.
Yes, you did. I remember quite well, man.
I hit a 1031 in Overkill, and then the whole world went Overkill after that.
Oh, yeah.
I love Rudy. He's a great guy. He's done a lot of great stuff for me. But now I have my own line of equipment.
Yeah, tell us about that, man. I've seen it around a little bit. Tell us about it.
Well, the line is simply called Mendy. Okay. And basically, I'm making bench shirts. I have a deadlift suit that's in process right now. I'm making briefs. We're going to have a squat suit. I sell knee wraps, wrist wraps. We're going to have sleeves, everything. I have straps. I'm coming out with everything.
Everything. Tell us about the deadlift suit, man.
Well, the deadlift suit's in progress right now. Me and Jonathan Curry from Juggernaut Barbell, he's kind of like my new bromance, you know what I mean? So me and him are real good friends now, and he's got a lot of knowledge. He's a newer lifter, but he's got a lot of experience, and we communicate really well together. Jonathan, I love you, bro. If you see this, you know what's up, Juggernaut Barbell. But he's basically been my guinea pig. So I've been making different versions of the suit and sending it out to him. And then he gives me the feedback. I don't have an ankle in my right leg anymore. So I got in an accident. I don't know. We can go into that later. But, the lower body stuff pretty much is as far as equipped, I'm done with. So he's my guinea pig. And we're coming out with a nice bunch of equipment. This is a mixed material suit.
Okay.
And it's not out yet, and I'm not done with the patent yet, so I can't really go into exactly what I did with it.
Yeah,
but it's something special, and I think it's going to change the game.
Oh, it's badass, man.
As far as my bench shirt is concerned, it's called X Factor.
Yeah.
And basically, the X Factor shirt, when you spread an X apart, it evenly distributes the force exact in the spread. Now, as in a press call or a decompression of the suit of the X, where does an X want to go? Right back to the center.
Yeah.
Okay. So my patent design is I have an X in each ply that I put in. Okay. And what it does is, like the competitive shirts that we have, And those are great shirts too. I'm not putting them down or saying anything, but they lock up at the bottom and it's really hard to touch.
Right.
My design, it's more user friendly. And it almost feels as if it doesn't have enough stopping power on the way down because it just stretches. Okay. In the middle where the X crosses over on each ply, it's in that 2-inch area, it's 3 plies. Okay. Because of the X crossing over and then the initial ply. So
Right.
in that center plate, there's a buildup in the chest plate. So you can put your chest out and leverage off of that center chest plate, which causes the side and shoulder areas to stretch easier. Okay.
Yeah,
Now on the
sense.
explosiveness, it drives out of the hole and that X just boom wants to go back to the center. And it's an incredible groove, incredible drive. And I just got a new material. I made a 4-ply out of it. And I went to pull it down. I had 1150 on the bar and I literally went, and it didn't even move. I've never had a shirt like that. It's useless, but we're going through R&D with it. You know what I mean? So I got to work with it, but I'm with a 3-ply right now. And with the 3-ply, I just got to a 3 board with 1079.
Wow.
So, and I'm just going into it slowly. So next week we're going 1190 to a 2 board.
Okay.
So I think theoretically, if it stays with me, I should be over 1,300 pounds to deal with Kobe. So we'll see what's going on. There's real promising stuff. This new technology with the shirts is a whole new world.
Right.
But it's very dangerous at the same time because you got these guys that don't know how to bench. And, with the old bench shirts like the Overkill, when I was coming down and I couldn't touch, I could fan it forward a little bit to touch, you know what I mean? But with these new shirts and the weight so much greater, if you fan forward, it'll rip your thumbs right off.
Yeah, done.
So if you look right here, you see my thumb?
Oh yeah.
I slipped with a 1,200-pound bench a couple weeks ago, and it ripped the skin right off my thumb. So
cheese grater action.
I run tape around my thumbs when I bench now, but a couple weeks ago I got back on and I just was so interested in the shirt that I forgot to tape. So my teammate Tara, when I got off the bench, there was a big hunk hanging off my thumb, and she's like, "You forgot to tape," and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot to tape." Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Hey, Matthias made a comment earlier. He said, "I don't think I'll ever be a world-class power lifter. I don't think I'm quite insane enough." Give me your commentary on that, Scott.
Well, look, to be a great in anything, you have to be insane. So I'm going to have to agree with him.
I seconded his motion.
I dropped, I don't know if you guys saw that 1121 that got dropped on me at Chinese meat last year.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. So that happened. And then a week later, I was under 1,100 pounds again.
Right.
Normal people don't do that shit. It's not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if it was exactly that I said, but we were talking some shit about, the sport and people and kind of like what it takes to get there. Can you elaborate a little bit on like, in what way does a person have to be insane to become a world-class powerlifter?
Okay, I have a saying, and it'll wrap it up exactly what you're asking in one verse. To be great in powerlifting, you have to die and go to hell. And then you need to make hell your heaven. And if you can do that, there's nothing in life that you can't do.
I think it's absolutely freaking spot on, man.
Sounds kind of like just being a man who actually gets ahead in life.
Look,
it's just like...
I use that terminology in business. I use it, with everything, because I don't have any mid-range. I can't mess with anything a little bit. I either do it or I don't.
Or not.
There's no, I dabble in this. Da, 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 da. That's why I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff, because if I like it, I'll kill myself. And I know that, so I don't do it. So, it is what it is. So,
but it's kind of like what a man has to do, keep like pushing forward in life to build himself up and become a certain type of individual, in order to gain respect and get all the good things in life. Otherwise,
look at, do you follow Formula One racing?
No.
Well, there's a new world champion now. His name's Max Verstappen. Okay. And, you know, these guys crash into a wall at 220 miles an hour, and then you see them racing a week later. You know, the shape that you need to be into. I don't just power lift. I bodybuild 5 days a week. And I power lift twice a week. So there could be no weak spot. You know, when a weight falls on you, you better be in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man.
You know, or something's going to go.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Daniel Zamata or Julius Maddox or Jimmy Colby or Dave Hoff or me, or, you know, it's just something that, you know, we're always training. We're always looking to better ourselves. And that's it, man. I mean, it's, you know, to be a champion is a very greedy thing. You know, I got 4 kids, and when they were growing up, I was breaking records, traveling all over the world. And, you know, I could have been a better father. I'm not saying I was a shitty father, but I could have been there more, you know. But my job was to do that, you know. So in a lot of situations, you know, you can't give 100% to everything, you know. So what you can give 100% into is the things that you're focused on completely. And that is, you know, perfecting whatever you want to perfect, whether it be your job or, you know, or your marriage or whatever it is. But you can't go half-assed, because the person or sport are greedy and they want theirs.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, Scott, it'll be like the theme of our show is like overcoming everything. I got a brand, Squat Life. Not sure how familiar you are with that. We say life is like a heavy squat. That shit is trying to press you down all the time. It's going to be a gut check to how hard you can stand the fuck back up.
Yep.
So I know you've had some like shit, your car accidents, one of them. I know you've had some ups and downs. But I think our viewers oftentimes find those stories like really motivating and encouraging. So maybe you start with that car accident. Let us know what happened with that.
I was about 390 pounds at the time, the biggest I ever was. And I was getting ready to compete. I went to New York to my sister's wedding a week before, and I got back. I was going to work, and I had a van that had the logos all over it for the gym and stuff. And my son was like 4 years old, and he's like, Daddy, I want to go to work with you. And I only had 2 clients. So I was like, listen, let me just go, and I'll be back in a minute, you know. And thank God I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go to work, and I'm training, and I'm coming home, and I'm on the phone with my wife, and I'm talking sex shit because I wanted some. And she's like, yeah, get home quick. And I was like, okay. And in LA, they have what's called a fast lane in the freeway. Where you just move over to the left lane. So I shifted into the fast lane, and the car in front of me just jerked out of the way, and there was a lady stopped with no lights on. And I smacked her at like 75 miles an hour. Wow. So I start getting hit. I got hit by 8 cars. And my goodness. I closed my eyes, and my ex-wife is on the phone with me hearing all this shit go on. And cars are hitting me, and I just closed my eyes and relaxed. And I just said, totally relaxed. Drunk people never die. And I just went with the flow.
Wow.
And that was it, man. So they finally stopped. And when I hit the lady, my foot was on the gas pedal. So the motor was right in front in the van, you know, so it came in and it snapped my leg. I heard it break like a tree branch, like, and right then I was like, oh, that's gone, you know.
Wow.
So I stop, and the car's smoking, and I see like sparks, and I'm like, oh, fuck, it's going to blow up, you know. So I look down, and the steering column is right here on my chest. Well, when I hit, I broke the steering wheel off, and the dashboard came this way, and my hands went into the dash.
Holy shit.
So my hands were embedded into the dash, and I felt it. It hurt like hell, but I just ripped my hands out, steering wheel down in the center of the seats. So I take my seatbelt off, And like these two Asian kids run up to the car. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, the car's smoking." So they look at the car and they just run away because they think it's going to blow up, you know? And I was like, shit. So I get over to because the airbag had blown up. My head was cut open. I don't know if you can see, I got a scar on the top of my head from it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I opened the door and the doors were smashed in, you know? So I couldn't get out. So I took my elbow and my hand like this, and I just went boom and broke the window out of the van. So I got out of the car and I hit the ground on my left foot because I knew my right foot was smashed, and I was wearing these steel toe boots. So I'm like, I don't even know where the hell I am. I get to the side of the freeway that I thought, but what wasn't the side, it was actually the center divider.
Oh, my God.
So I'm sitting down, traffic's all stopped. So the paramedics finally get there and they're like, "Here, you got to lay on this gurney." So I lay on the gurney and two of them go to lift me up. They're like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Whoa." So like 6 of them came, and I'm joking with them. I'm like, "Listen, if I would have known this would have happened, I would have cut some weight for you guys, you know?" So I get to the hospital, and 13 surgeries later, I actually have one surgery coming up.
Wow.
They put my foot back on wrong. So I'm like walking on the pinky edge of my foot right now. And it's causing me a lot of pain. So they got to cut my foot off now.
Goodness
They have to level it out and then drive a bolt through my heel up into my tibia. I just got a Harley and shit, and I'm enjoying my life. So I'm going to be down for 5 months, and I'm lifting still. And I'm not doing it yet. I'm enjoying my life right now. So I don't feel I've just suffered so much with this shit that I just, it's like never ending, and I'm in pain 24 hours a day. And they tell me, "Look, once you get this done, you'll be out of pain." But I just don't believe them. So,
Well, I hope so, man.
I don't think so. Every time they tell me something, they're full of shit. So,
Gotcha. What was
plus I'm benching and doing everything that I'm doing. And, I drive off my legs so hard that I've actually blown my quads twice bench pressing. So,
Gotcha.
There's a lot of pressure there. I don't know if you guys saw when I bench, I wear one boot that's higher on one side.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, that levels me out because they took 2.5 inches they removed my ankle in my right leg. So people don't understand that. They're like, "Oh yeah, but I'm a handicapped. I'm still doing this shit, but I'm not handicapped." I refuse to admit that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So are you squatting or like without an ankle?
I do the super squat.
What's that?
Where the pads go over your shoulders and it's on an angled platform.
Oh, so like a hack squat?
Kind of, but front hack squat.
Oh yeah, like reverse hack squat, maybe?
Kind of, but you're leaning forward instead of leaning back. So it's a real squat motion. So I'll put a 35-pound weight underneath my right leg to even the height issue out.
Yeah.
But I'll throw 20 plates on it. I do sets of 15 on it, no problem. So I'm
Scott, if I recall, you were like one hell of a squatter back in the day too, man.
I squatted 1,000 raw back in the day.
That's what I thought.
I actually never competed full lift because I just didn't feel like it. It's not something I ever wanted. And I have a family, I had little children at the time, and just benching and doing my bodybuilding support work was taking too much time out of my family at the time. So another night in powerlifting would be another 4 hours a week.
Exactly.
And I just didn't get into it because of that. I felt bad that I was, even at that very time, I felt bad that I was not putting enough into my family. And it caused problems in my marriage. Like my ex-wife was like, "Look, it's either you or the bench. I'm out of here." And like in a millisecond, I
got a PR set for next week.
I went like this.
Yeah, that's not the training doing it, man. That's a problem with her more than the training. You gotta have some.
It doesn't really matter. But what did happen was she's now a world champion in bench press. So it can either go either way. Yeah, but you know what? We're not together anymore. We're friends now. I got a whole new life going, and we're cool now. I just pay for everything,
There you go.
But she's cool. Look, she raised my kids right. My kids are all athletes. There's no drug addicts. There's no early childhood births, and you know, they're all out of the house now and they're doing their thing. So look, I got no complaints. We're cool. I'm happy paying for it. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, congrats on that. Seriously, man. That's a good thing.
So
Matthias,
we're much better friends than we ever were married.
yeah, it's I don't hearing that here and there. I'm not able to say the same thing, but kudos to you for that. Hey, Matthias, I know you're often got a lot of like questions dialing in, like what do these world champions do in their training to set them apart? So maybe touch on that a little bit, Scott. I know I tell people over and over, you've got to practice like you compete. I don't care what your sport is. You've got to bring that competitive edge to your training or you're not.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it also matters on the team that you have. You know, I've had guys that don't show up and then I can't lift. You know, so you get to a point to where it's like, it's almost like a Formula One team or a NASCAR team. When that car pulls in, zit, and they're gone. The tires are changed. The gas is put in. Whatever needs to be done is done. You know, you need to make a crew that you can rely on.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it's the consistency. You know, the pain and the wear and tear and everything. That's what sets apart a pro from an amateur.
Right. Scott, I grew up in Aurora, Illinois, Ernie Franz country.
Ernie was a great guy. I loved him. He was good.
Absolutely. You know, then just be able to see athletes of that caliber come in, week after week after week, what they put themselves through and the energy that flowed in that place. And what an absolute gift that was to be able to be exposed to that at a young age.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And, that's why Rudy trained with Ernie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, Rudy's got a great team. I've turned a few guys on to him. I got nothing but respect for those guys. I love Ernie. You know, he was a really good guy.
No doubt about that.
And Louis, R.I.P. to Louis Simmons.
Right.
He was a game changer, bro. He was a game changer, and he changed a lot of people's lives.
Hey, since you brought that up, let me tell you a little story about Louis Simmons. I torched my senior year in college. Thought I had a good shot at playing in the NFL. End of my season, blew the kneecap right off the tendon. Boom.
Right.
So just, cutting to the chase, I'll talk to Ernie. As much as I do about this, Ernie, I got to get back. He's like, well, this sounds like something you should talk to Louis about. Give him a call, tell him I sent you. Louis guided me through the entire rehab process, start to finish. And less than a year after blowing that patellar tendon off the bone completely, I hit a PR squat. I squatted 900 before my senior year in college. I squatted like 907 11 months later. I ended up squatting my first 1,000-pound squat just a touch after a year after the date of that surgery. And I got to give credit to Louis Simmons for bringing me, both of Louis and Ernie, but the detail, the rehab. Louis had stuff that was not even known in like the regular rehabilitation circles. And what a phenomenal guy, dedicated his time, took it serious, really showed that he cared a lot about me and got me through that. It was like, what a fucking incredible experience dealing with that man at that young age too.
He was something, bro. So I'm at the Arnold and I win the Arnold and I blew my quad benching, right?
Yeah.
So I needed to do the Can-Ams like 3 weeks later. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, dude, I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. My quad's blown. He's like, okay, Scotty, here's what I need you to do. I need you to load 3 cc's of hydrogen peroxide into a needle. And I need you to shoot it right in the quad where it hurts.
What the hell?
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're joking, right? He's all, listen to me. You can't get an infection. Okay, hydrogen peroxide is bacteriostatic. Don't worry about it, and it'll heal you. He's all, but it's gonna hurt a little bit.
A little bit,
dude. So I'm in the gym, and I load 3 cc's of fucking hydrogen peroxide, and my boy sticks it in my quad, and he looks at me and he goes, "Are you ready?" Dude, he put that shit in. And when you pour hydrogen peroxide on a cut and it bubbles up?
Right.
I felt that inside my leg. And the pain, I was howling like a fucking dog for like 10 minutes. I mean, it was the worst shit I had ever felt. But guess what? I broke the world record 3 weeks later in Canada. I get to Canada and I had lidocaine with me. So we shot 15 cc's of lidocaine all over my quad. And I got permission to put a knee wrap on my leg, on my knee.
Yeah.
A knee wrap around my quad. And they okayed it because I told them, look, I got a blown quad. So they okayed it and I broke the world record.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for Louis, there's no way I would have been under that weight 3 weeks later.
Right. Yeah, guys, it's some radical stuff, man. And
He was a fucking animal. I loved him.
Absolutely. No question. Yeah.
But that's some of the crazy shit, Matthias, that I'm talking about. Like normal people wouldn't do that shit.
No.
I mean,
evidently only one person does that shit.
Yeah.
normal people sit at home and watch TV and have no hobbies. Like, so I would rather be insane than.
You know what my hobby is? You guys.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like it. All right, let's Dick,
I do this shit so you guys will call me and put me on a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Break down some of your bodybuilding work, Scott. What are you doing for your body? I know it's not.
I mean, I do a full bodybuilding workout every week. I do a chest and back workout. I do a shoulder and arm workout, and I do a leg workout. Sometimes I'll split it to shoulders and back. I'll just do arms. I'll just do chest, and I'll do a leg workout. It just depends. I like to mix it up because, you know, once you get stagnant, your body gets used to a pattern.
Right.
Like I'll have clients and I could bring them from machine A to machine Z every time, and they'll get used to it. But if I just start at machine Z and bring it back to machine A, it will beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Because their body gets used to a certain pattern. See, you're like a dog, Matthias. You are happy with a pattern. You eat in the morning, you read the paper, you do this, you do that, you eat lunch, you do this, you do that, you eat dinner, you watch whatever show you usually watch, and you go to bed. Every human is like that. Are you flipping me off right now? Did you see that?
Told me
that. Hey, you see that?
I'm just having an itch. I'm not feeling comfortable at all. I'm just having an itch.
That was perfect timing for the itch. It was great. But you understand what I'm saying? Like everybody is complacent with ease.
Yes. They're very content very easily with watching Netflix
absolutely,
and having no life at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do with all my training is I make myself uncomfortable constantly. And that's what I do with my bodybuilding. You know, sometimes when I get closer to show, I'll do more of like a flushing workout. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, like real high reps.
Work.
Just not heavy and concentrated. You know, my workout system is different than anybody else's. I work a system called chain drive. And basically, like if I do biceps, I'll contract my traps, my shoulders, my chest, my triceps, everything, forearms, and I'll squeeze. And then on the way down, I'm really, really, really into the negative. So I'm constantly contracted in a 100% of the area of my body. And what that does is it strengthens everything evenly. Instead of, you know, doing this and then doing that and then doing this and separating it. So basically in all my upper body exercises, I lead with my trap. Because the traps stabilize everything else. If you tighten your traps and you do a bicep curl, it's even on both sides. If you don't, it could go any way it wants. So when I do my dumbbell, when I do my cable lat pull downs, I'm in my trap and I'm pulling from my back, and my trap is leading the entire exercise.
You know, it's funny. My brother Paul was a total freak of it, you know, freak of nature, madman training. When he would do his overhead presses, when he rep 405, well, how do you do that? Well, I just think about using my traps the whole time.
Absolutely, he was right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how I lead everything. And
Yeah,
when I
see-
bench and I set up on my traps. I'm pulling from my back. When I drive, I don't do this. I push myself back into the bench. So I stay. I have what's called a tree analogy.
Okay.
When a car hits a tree, who wins?
Well, most likely the tree.
Correct. The initial branches that grow off of the tree, you could build a tree house on, you could climb. It's very strong and durable. What happens to all the dangly branches?
Ah, okay.
They break.
Yeah.
So you never want, like I was a fighter, so I teach fighting also. If I was fighting and I stuck my arm out like that to somebody, they could arm lock me, they could throw me, they could do whatever they want. But if I come in from here at them, then it's a different story.
Stay rooted to that trunk, man.
Everything is close to the trunk. When we bench, we never do this. We're always in here. We're pulling, and when we drive, I'm always pushing my tricep into my body, whether I'm pulling down in the negative or driving up in the positive.
You know, I think I got this from you, Scott. Turn your triceps and lats into one unified muscle.
100%. That's me.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. It made a lot of sense. Wish I'd have learned it fucking 20 years earlier. But
You know what? I didn't know it 20 years earlier, bro.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
unfortunately, through years and years of experience, it's like 30 years of experience is this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I do
it.
know what you-
That's it. 30 years of experience.
Boom.
And it's the weirdest shit. You know, I mean, anybody that says that they know it all, like I have a pretty sound system, but every once in a while I feel something or I see something or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm always trying to learn.
Yeah, by the way, the episode is about to run out and we're going to have to start a new one.
I didn't understand a fucking word you just said.
Yeah. What did you
That's-
say, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
There's a timer, less than a minute left, and it cuts off.
Oh, it's going to part 2, you're saying.
Yeah, let's go to part 2.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Part one
Let's
is
take a quick
over.
break.
Yeah.
Cut.
Cut.
Cut.